Hey everyone, welcome to the Basketball and Beer podcast where we talk NBA basketball, drink craft beer, and have a special focus on the Chicago Bulls because that's my team. Today I'm going to be drinking a coffee porter by Hubbard's Cave. I really like the dark beers, stouts, porters are some of my favorites. So that's what I'll be drinking today. Feel free to grab yourself one if you like. If not, let's get right into it and talk some basketball. I'm Brennan O'Connor, and today we're going to start out with a little bit of NBA topics. I'll cover a little bit about the Bulls, and then we'll wrap things up. So to start out, I wanted to talk about how the NBA this year has a lot of superstar duos. We kind of went through that era of the super teams with the Miami Heat when they had LeBron and D. Wade and Chris Bosh. And then after that, we had the Golden State Warriors with Steph, Clay, Draymond, and then KD came on over from Oklahoma City. And honestly, I don't think it was good for the NBA. It was a big change. I always like watching the NBA, so no matter what, it's fun, but it just wasn't, it didn't feel competitive. It felt like almost like all-star games, they can be fun to watch, but there's just no competition. This year, things changed. We have so many teams that have two superstars, and it's exciting because they're going to be matching up against each other. And it kind of reminds me of the 90s when you had more, Stockton and Malone. You had Ewing and John Starks. You had Jordan and Pippen. You had all these teams, Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. You had all these superstar duos. We're starting to see that again, and I think it's going to make for a way more competitive and way more exciting year. Excuse me while I crack open my beer here. So just touching on some of these, I wanted to rank today some of these superstar duos, and I'd be curious to hear if you agree, disagree. Let me know how you would rank yours. I'm going to go through a list here of some of the duos I am considering will be a solid duo for this year, but I'm going to rank the top 5. So, in no particular order, just to discuss the people I have listed here. Obviously, we got LeBron and AD with the Lakers. They're going to be incredible. We've got Russ and James Harden on the Houston Rockets. We got Kawhi and Paul George on the Clippers. That was another big one. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. KD is going to be injured. He'll be sitting this year out, but that's another superstar duo to look out for. Of course, you have Steph and Clay on Golden State. They've been, a superstar duo for a while. Throw Draymond in there, he's part of that crew as well. But if we're looking at two, the Splash Brothers, I think, are there big too. Luka and Kristaps Porzingis are a new and young superstar duo over in Dallas, and I think they're going to be a couple of guys to watch moving forward. They're going to grow together. They've had pretty good chemistry in the preseason so far. And then Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. We know they've been balling together for a while now. Another crew with great chemistry, and their team got better this year too. But go ahead and ranking these top 5. You can't really, these are so debatable. There's not a lock, but to me, LeBron and AD are the number 1 duo in the NBA without a doubt. And I say that because of LeBron James. There's been so much talk about who's got the throne. Giannis last year, after his MVP season, a lot of people think that he's now the best player in the NBA. There was a lot of talk about Kawhi being better than LeBron. There was talk about Kevin Durant the last couple of years possibly being the best player in the NBA now. And prior to that, even Steph Curry, people were talking about if he was better than LeBron James. You can make a case for any of these guys, but when it comes down to it, if I am the general manager of a team for one season, this coming season, and I can pick one player in the NBA to help me win a championship, I'm taking LeBron every single time. There's no guy in the league that I think is going to be more likely to win you a championship. And that's the reason for him and AD. He's playing with another superstar, and if they stay healthy, I don't think that there's anybody that's going to compete with them. Not Russ and Harden, not Paul George and Kawhi. I think LeBron is it, and with AD's help, they're going to be tough. In my opinion, they're the favorite to win the championship and the number one duo out of these superstar duos. So they're taking the number one spot. Number two, I'm taking Kawhi and Paul George with the Clippers. They just complement each other really well. They're both wings. You can play either one of them as a small ball four. They're two-way players. Great on defense, great offensive players. They're both unselfish, and they got a good supporting crew. The Clippers defense is going to be insane this year. So I'm giving them the number two spot from our superstar duos. Number three, I had a tough time with this one. I'm going to go with KD and Kyrie. Again, KD's not going to be playing this year, but when he comes back the following year, just from a superstar level, I think those guys are going to complement each other really well. Having a point guard in Kyrie who can both score and dish the ball, and Kevin Durant, he can score in every way possible. I'm going with them at number three. Number four, I'm taking Russ and James Harden. A lot of people question the fit here, but these are two guys that can get a triple-double on any day of the week, and the key for them is they like each other. There was a lot of qualms with Chris Paul, who I think he's had trouble with a lot of people, but him and Harden, they were not the best fit as far as people. Didn't seem like they got along great, and that does have an impact on the floor. They still had a great season, but I think with James Harden and Russell Westbrook being friends, it's going to make for an easier flow on the court. Time will tell, but I got them locked in as my number three duo in the NBA. I'm sorry, number four. And to wrap it up, number five, I got to go Steph and Clay in the number five spot just because they've been doing it so long. When Clay gets back from his injury, assuming everything goes well, they're going to pick up where they left off. As a team, we'll see where they go, but those two guys, you can count on them to be magnificent. They're knockdown three-point shooters, great chemistry, and that's not going to change. So real quick, LeBron and AD number one, Kawhi and Paul George are number two, KD and Kyrie are taking the number three spot, Russ and James Harden in number four, and Steph and Clay holding it down as the number five superstar duo in the NBA. So we'll see. Again, leave comments below. Let me know. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Did I leave anybody off the list that you think should be on this top five? Because I know that there's a few others that could be mentioned as well. All right, so we discussed the superstar duos in the NBA. I want to jump into division winners, making my predictions. All right, so going through each division, we've got the Atlantic Division. I'm picking Philadelphia to take that over Toronto. That's going to be pretty easy. Everyone's going to agree with that, I would expect. Next year, though, is going to be fun. Brooklyn, once KD is healthy, I think that they're going to be better than Philly. Again, though, that's next year. So for this year, Philadelphia is taking the Atlantic Division. The Central Division, the Bucks are taking that, and there's no contest. I wish my Bulls could be in the conversation, but we're not close yet. It's going to be the Bucks, probably followed by Indianapolis. The Southeast Division, I've got Miami taking this one, but that's a weak division. Miami's not great. Atlanta is up-and-coming team. Orlando has looked promising. So if I was going to make a bold prediction, it would be that either Atlanta or Orlando or Atlanta, is going to end up winning that division. I couldn't quite do it. I'm not feeling like taking the risk, but I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. But I'm going with Miami to win the division there. Northwest Division, I've got Denver over Portland and Utah. That's going to be one of the tighter races of all the divisions. Utah really improved with Mike Conley Jr. They are going to be tough, and I think they'll have good chemistry. Portland, again, they got better. They've been playing with that group, CJ and Damian Lillard, for a while now, but they added some talent. They're going to be tough. I just don't see either of them overtaking Denver. Denver, they got good players, and they have good chemistry. They move the ball, they run the floor, they hit open shots, great passing. Denver's going to take that division. Pacific Division, Clippers or Lakers. That's going to be the fun one. right? So even though I chose LeBron and AD as my number one superstar duo, followed up by Kawhi and Paul George, as far as the teams go overall, I'm taking the Clippers to win the division. Their defense is going to be amazing. They got Patrick Beverley. He's going to be smothering people. Paul George and Kawhi are great defenders themselves. You got Lou Will coming off the bench. I think they're taking the division. It'll be close, but Clippers are taking the Pacific Division. And wrapping up the last one we got here, the Southwest Division, the Rockets are going to take this, and they're going to take it easily. Russ is going to do his thing. James Harden's going to be lighting up the league with his scoring as he always does. And there's no one in that conference who can even remotely touch them. They got a couple up-and-coming teams that are going to be fun to watch. You got the Mavericks in that division as well as the Pelicans. You got Luka, you got Zion. So they're going to be fun to watch. And both of those teams could be competing for the 8th seed in the Western Conference. But they're not touching the Rockets for the division championship on that one yet. So that's our NBA news and topics for today. I wanted to jump in and talk about my Chicago Bulls a little bit as well. Wendell Carter Jr. made his debut in preseason the other night, and he looked a bit rusty. Just the way he was moving around out there, you could tell it didn't seem like he felt fully confident in his body yet. He was kind of running a little bit awkwardly. Again, he's just getting his legs underneath him, and hopefully that's not an issue moving forward. The talent's all there. I think he'll put up good numbers once he gets comfortable. He looked good on defense. He had a nice block. However, I mentioned on the last podcast, going back to last season, he really struggled with getting quick, stupid fouls, and it continued. He had 3 fouls in 17 minutes in this preseason game. It's his first game back, but it was just a trend that I was hoping I would not see. We need him on the floor to be successful, and if he is getting these quick, dumb fouls, he's going to be pulled, and we're going to be playing one of our backups. Luckily, we have a pretty deep squad this year, but we need Wendell in there. Gafford can come in and help. Luke Cornett has been solid. He can play as well, but we need Wendell Carter Jr. in there, and we need him to make smart choices. He just gets ticky-tack, stupid fouls, and he's got to clean that up. Overall, the team looks really good. We had our first game out, we looked rough, but what's encouraging to me is the way that we're moving the ball and getting up good shots, and just the way the guys are interacting with each other on the floor. This group of guys seem like they like each other, and they seem like they fit together, and that's huge. Just the fact that they're actually working well together and playing the kind of basketball the Bulls have been saying that they've been trying to play the last couple of years. They're actually doing it right now. Lots of threes. They shot 40-something three-pointers last game. Connected on quite a few of them, and they looked good. They're gonna be a high-scoring basketball team this year, and they're gonna be fun to watch if they keep this up. So props to Jim Boylen. He deserves credit thus far. Players seem to be buying in after his rough start last year, where we had to have a coaches meeting because of the rocky start to their relationship. They really seem to have improved their relationship, and a lot of credit to Jim Boylen. He spent the offseason going to visit the players, jumping in lakes with Lowry. He's done a nice job, and I hope to see continued improvement from him as well. But so far, I like what I see. The team looks solid, and they're playing well together. Rotation seems to be set. As we discussed, we kind of anticipated this, but it looks like Sato's going to be the starter. At point guard, Zach, Otto, Lowry, and Wendell Carter Jr. are going to round out our starting 5. And then Kobe and Thad are going to be our first guys off the bench. They're going to be playing big minutes. Don't be surprised to see them in at the end of the game sometimes, just depending on who's in foul trouble or if one of those guys are really lighting it up. Those top 7 guys are going to be our main contributors. And after that, we still have depth. We've got Denzel. We've got Chandler Hutchinson. We've got Luke Cornett. We've got Daniel Gafford. So there's Chris Dunn. There's going to be a group of guys that are in the mix to be a part of this rotation, but it's going to depend on what they show and what they can do when they get in with their time. We got our top 7 set. Out of all those other guys, they're going to be competing to see, who's our 8th and 9th man in the rotation, and that'll be fun to watch. All right, so that wraps things up. We talked about superstar NBA duos. I picked LeBron and AD as number 1. Who are you choosing as your number 1 superstar duo in the league? Be curious to hear. We talked about our division winners, my predictions. Let me know, do you agree or am I off on some of these? Where am I wrong? Let me know. We covered the Bulls, Wendell Carter Jr. Team's looking good, rotation set, and we are excited for the start of the regular season. I know I can't wait. In closing, I have a sip of my beer. Go ahead, close your eyes for a second if you're not driving. Take a nice deep breath. Maybe take a moment to consider what you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my family, for my home, for my health, for Bulls basketball being back on TV. Gratitude is a powerful thing. You should make it a regular part of your routine every day. I'm a meditation teacher, so I love basketball. I love meditating, and that's why I'm talking about it. Beer's good. Basketball's great. But what's really important is treating each other right. Be kind. Be you. And don't forget to subscribe right now so we can continue talking basketball, you and me. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time.